you doing, everybody? Okay, part two here of the Make the Money and Running podcast minute here, Vasu Vaddiparty on Tuesday, April 27th. Getting a lot of flack these days for April 27th apparently being the end of the NBA season. It's not true, or the end of the. One second here. Something's going on here, and I can't get it on Facebook. So, trying to figure out what I got to do on Facebook here to do this. So, let's see what we've got going on here. Anyway, all right. So let's go on with this Facebook Live, Sales Media YouTube page, as well as my YouTube page. You can subscribe and get to anytime you want. All right, the Major League Baseball season. A lot of texts and a lot of phone calls. That's what prompted me to do this minute today. April 27th. The season's not over, everybody. It's good when the San Francisco Giants are playing well. I live in the Bay Area. The Giants are 15-8. They're one of three teams in the Major League Baseball that have the best record. Two of them reside in the Bay Area. The Oakland A's, who won last night at Tampa. They won 13 out of 14, I believe, after their 12-game winning streak was snapped on Sunday. The Dodgers did lose to the Reds last night. They've fallen into a tie with the San Francisco Giants at 15-8. Let me give you a little hint here. The Dodgers' run differential is a lot higher. They're playing with a lot of injuries. The bullpen, as I said at the beginning of the year, is going to be something that is going to be an Achilles heel for them until they figure out what to do. But everybody's injured on that team. There's no Cody Bellinger. The pitching staff has been okay. David Price moved to the bullpen has been great. Now the San Francisco Giants, 15-8. Their starting pitching is unbelievable right now. Desclafini, you knew he was going to be better. He's a fly ball pitcher. That doesn't work in Cincinnati. He's here in San Francisco at night, especially the ball does not travel. He's had a great run. Alex Wood, who was with the Dodgers in 2020, great starting pitcher. He pitched well against the Marlins on Friday night, allowing only one hit, the leadoff home run to Jazz Chisholm Jr., one of the greatest names in baseball ever, Jazz Chisholm Jr. So the Marlins lost 3 out of 4 to the Giants this weekend. The Giants got a victory against the Rockies last night, a big 4-run first, big 5-run second, 12-0, the shutout. Desclafini goes to complete game. Johnny Cueto's still on the injured list. He'll come back maybe after one more start. Logan Webb pitched well, hit a triple on Sunday as well against the Marlins. Giants playing well. The best thing that they're doing right now, it's not even the pitching, it's their defense. The defense is outstanding. They haven't made an error in 3 games, 6 errors in 23 games, which is great. That's only about 40 errors, 50 errors for the year. They're tied for first. But let's temper the enthusiasm down. It's great that they're going great. Longoria and Posey are back, and they're hitting the snot out of the ball. And the pitching's been great, and even the bullpen's done well. And Kapler's let his starters go a lot longer. Fact is that it's only 23 games. The run differential for the Dodgers and the Giants are completely different. The Giants have to hit, and they know they've got to get their bats going as we go to May because everybody goes into a slump. Every aspect of any sport goes into a slump. Right now, the hitting's not hitting as well. They're getting clutch hits. The starting pitching's been great. I think they're third in Major League Baseball in starters ERAs. Jake McGee has been great in the bullpen. The Dodgers right now, they've got to figure out their bullpen. Kenley Jansen has not been good for a couple of years. He had a couple of good outings recently, but overall, they're just going to have to find a long-term solution for the bullpen. I say Blake Trinan, but that's Dave Roberts' choice, and he's won 8 divisions in a row, and he knows a lot more about baseball. Problem with everybody giving their opinions on this, and it's good that everybody has their opinions. The problem with everybody, including media like me, that give our opinions, we think we're GMs. We think fantasy baseball and fantasy football, we do well in those leagues, then we can be a GM of any team. We don't. We go to work every day. We come home. We spend a couple hours. We think we know more than the general managers and the team executives that study this stuff 24 hours, that look at these minor league players. The Giants didn't sign any big-name free agent guys. Everybody was all upset. Oh, what kind of year are you going to have? What kind of year are you going to have? Farhan Zaidi knows what he's doing. The scouting department knows what they're doing. Every team has a good scouting department. Every team finds players. So the Giants and Dodgers, long way to go. A lot of people talking about the Padres taking 3 out of 4 of the Dodgers. Yeah, they're 4-3 against Los Angeles right now. That's great. They're in 3rd place. They also got swept by the Milwaukee Brewers at home. Good teams don't lose at home like that. Certainly don't get swept. Obviously, they don't hit as well as everybody thinks they do. Fernando Tatis, the cover boy of MLB Show the 21, he hurt his shoulder a few weeks ago. Is that the same as the SI jinx or the Madden jinx? I don't know, but he's come back. He hit 2 home runs on Friday night. By the way, the anniversary of 2 home runs at Dodger Stadium, his father did the same thing, except one better. He had 2 grand slams off the same pitcher in the same inning back in 1997. The pitcher's name, for those that are old enough to remember, Chan Ho Park of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Madison Bumgarner, who had a no-hitter for 7 innings on Sunday, the game ended because it was a doubleheader, is not being credited with a no-hitter on Sunday. Kind of interesting. These are Major League Baseball rules, and they should count it as a no-hitter because baseball has made the rule that doubleheaders are going to be 7 innings. But under the original rule, you have to go 9 innings to throw a no-hitter. And I posted this the other day, and people again my age that don't remember this, in 1991, the Montreal Expos were visiting Los Angeles in a weekend series. I was in college, and I remember this. Mark Gardner, who was a former Giants bullpen coach, former San Francisco Giants pitcher, had a great career with the Expos for about a number of years. He had a 9-inning no-hitter. The game was scoreless against the Dodgers. Dodgers ended up winning on that Friday night in 10 innings. Mark Gardner got credit for 9 innings of no-hit ball. Dodgers were not very good that year. They didn't hit at all. And then on Sunday, Dennis Martinez, that's going way far back, El Presidente, the first player ever from Nicaragua at that time to play in Major League Baseball. He threw a perfect game against the Dodgers on Sunday. So that was a rough weekend to hit for the Dodgers, but that's never happened before. On Sunday, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Zach Gallen, whose name you'll hear for a lot of years to come with Arizona, he threw a one-hitter against the Braves in Atlanta, and then Randy Johnson threw a no-hitter. I'm sorry, why do I keep saying Randy Johnson? Madison Bumgarner threw a no-hitter against the Braves on Sunday afternoon. Randy Johnson threw a perfect game about 18 years ago against the Braves in Atlanta as well. Maybe that's why it's sticking in my mind. Or I should write better notes. Or I should get that lobotomy check, one or the other. But anyway, Madison Bumgarner threw the no-hitter. So it's the first time in 2 consecutive games that a team has had 1 hit or less in 2 games, 2 straight games. And that happened to the Atlanta Braves over the weekend against the Diamondbacks. The Braves have tough pitching problems right now. The Cubs got a lot of runs off them. They were lucky to score. The National League East is down. Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher in baseball, had a great game on Friday night. We mentioned yesterday, 15 strikeouts, no walks, 4 hits against the Washington Nationals. He's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. But the National League East right now is kind of sappy. The Reds, as we said, got that victory against the Dodgers last night. They had a 3-1 lead. Corey Seager tied it up in the 8th, but then the 2-run home run in the top of the 10th inning off Kenley Jansen gave the Reds the victory. Jesse Winker, another name you'll hear for a lot of years with the Cincinnati Reds, is a terrific outfielder. Has got a lot of power to all fields. He's the one who hit the 2-run home run. Dodgers had a chance at the bottom of the 10th. Couldn't get it done. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row. They're tied for first in the National League West. The Giants are tied with them. The Padres are 3 games back. Again, they lost to Milwaukee. Got swept by Milwaukee last weekend. Giants Padres play this weekend. Dodgers are going to Milwaukee for 4 after they finish up their series with the Reds. The National League Central. Right now, the Milwaukee Brewers lead the National League Central. They lost yesterday. My guy, Corbin Burns, still has not walked anybody this year. The record for most innings pitched without a walk, most strikeouts without a walk is 51. Corbin Burns right now at 49 strikeouts and no walks. His ERA jumped from .39 to .161 as the Marlins jumped on him a little bit. 5 runs off Burns. They win 8-0. So the Marlins got their bats healthy after leaving San Francisco. Move over to the American League West now. The A's got a victory at Tampa Bay last night. They're in first place in the American League West. They are 2 games ahead of the Seattle Mariners, who are 13-10. They lost to Houston last night. Seattle Mariners playing a lot better than everybody thought they were going to do. Mike Trout and the Angels, they are 3 games back. Trout missed 2 games over the weekend, shoulder, something like that. But when he comes back, he's like the Kevin Durant of basketball. He just rolls out of bed and hits. All he did was go 4 for 4 last night. His batting average is 443. His on-base percentage is 534, and his OPS is like 1,100 or something like that. So that's what they call the slash line of baseball. So when you see those numbers come up on the screen, it's batting average, on-base percentage, and OPS, which is on-base percentage plus slugging percentage. So a little educational value here. But the Angels are right there in the American League West. They're going to be good. They better find some pitching though, because right now pitching's hurting them. They've got the Houston Astros are hosting Seattle. Houston got off to a great start, and then they struggled a little bit. They had the COVID issues. Altuve, Bregman, Maldonado, Alvarez all out. They're now 11-11, 3.5 back. And then the Texas Rangers are 6 games back, but only 4 out in the wild card standing. So that's the American League West. In the American League Central right now, the Kansas City Royals, the big story right now, 14-7, second best record in baseball after the top 3 teams, 15-8. Actually, better record percentage-wise because they only have 7 losses. They've won 5 in a row, including a 4-game sweep over the Detroit Tigers, which they outscored the Tigers 15-5. Now, we know the Royals haven't been very good for a number of years. They had that 3-year period when they were in the World Series 2 years in a row, losing to the Giants in 2014, and then beating the New York Mets in 2015 in the World Series that year. That was with Lorenzo Cain and Mike Moustakas and guys like that were on the team. Salvador Perez, Greg Holland, the only two guys left from those teams that are on the roster right now, and they're having a good year. They did come up against the Detroit Tigers, who are struggling in that division. Chicago White Sox are 12-9. They're 2 games back. They've won 4 in a row, and they've got the Detroit Tigers coming in this week. Cleveland and Minnesota are continuing their series. Minnesota's struggling, and they've got terrible defense right now. They're 2-8 in their last 10. So it's going to be an interesting baseball season. But then again, and everybody's asking me on Facebook, the Yankees are still getting all the play. The Red Sox are playing well, but the Yankees are still getting on national TV. Problem is the Yankees have terrible defense. They don't have any starting pitching after Garrett Cole. And if you have bad defense behind adequate pitching, you're not going to win. I don't care how good your offense is right now. They're even -10 in the run differential. And that's with an offense that's supposed to just blow doors off everybody. They're even behind the Baltimore Orioles, the Toronto Blue Jays, Tampa Bay Rays, the Boston Red Sox are 14-9. They won yesterday, or they won on Sunday. They had a day off yesterday. They're +20 in run differential, but got to see how their pitching goes right now. Evaldi lost. Evaldi's their ace right now, and he lost on Saturday. So that's some of the baseball stuff that we have going on. In the NBA, let's look at the NBA a little bit here. The NBA, the Warriors are in 10th place right now. I live in the Bay Area, so everybody's talking about the Warriors. They're 31-30. They're a half game behind San Antonio. San Antonio beat Washington yesterday, and Washington just got off an 8-game winning streak. They lost to the Spurs yesterday in overtime. Washington in 10th place. They're 27-34, 3 games back of the Pacers in the standings right now. Indiana and Portland are going to play tonight. It's an interesting game. Portland's a 5-point favorite, and we do talk about the wagers and the odds here. Portland, 5-point favorite on the road at Indianapolis. They've lost. Where have they lost? They lost 5 in a row, have the Blazers. The Pacers have won 3 in a row. I know there's no Sabonis in the lineup, or at least he wasn't in the lineup the last couple of games. But how do you make Portland a favorite? They just lost twice to Memphis, and now they're going to go on the road to play a pretty good team in Indiana, who's in the 9th seed in the NBA. They're 3 games up on Washington, as I said, and only a game back of Charlotte and Miami, 2 back of Boston for that important 6th seed. If you finish 6th or higher, you don't get into the play, and you don't have to play in the play-in tournament, and you just wait for everybody to play themselves out. So it's an important game for Portland. It's an important game for Indiana. Portland in 7th place. As I said, they're 1 game back of Dallas. Dallas and Golden State are going to play tonight. It's going to be an interesting game for that. Golden State off their victory with Sacramento on Sunday, and then Dallas had 2 wins against the Lakers. Everybody's bagging on the Lakers a little bit too. I don't know if it's an anti-LeBron thing or whatever the case is, but Anthony Davis has come back. LeBron James will be out another week or so, but he'll be back, and they'll be a better team. They'll be better than a fifth seed team. The Clippers, how do you lose to the Pelicans on the road? I just don't think the Clippers are good enough to match up with the Lakers if everybody's healthy. Lakers are going to be there at the end. The Warriors, if they can get into the first round of the play-in tournament and get into the next round of the playoffs, they're as good as anybody right now with Steph Curry right there, an MVP candidate. By the way, he's not the MVP. If they go on a run in the next 10 to 12 games, he's not the MVP. He may be the best player in the league, but give him the most outstanding player of the year award. But don't give him an MVP award right now. There's other guys in the MVP conversation. Jokic from Denver, Joel Embiid from Philadelphia, even though he's missed a few games, that might hurt him in the MVP voting. And one guy that's not even talked about, he's not the best player on the team, on his own team, is Chris Paul. Tell me the Phoenix Suns will not be as good as they are without Chris Paul on that team. The NBA standings right now, Phoenix is 1 game back to Utah, who lost to Minnesota. Another MVP candidate, but he's going to be out for a while, or going to be out a couple of games. Donovan Mitchell hurt, but without Donovan Mitchell on that team, the Jazz aren't going to go very far either. They have the best record in the NBA, 44-17. Brooklyn Nets are 41-20 in the East. They're a game better than Philadelphia, but I'm going to tell you why Philadelphia is better right now. Philadelphia is better right now because they play defense. When they have Simmons and Embiid on the floor, not only are they good offensively, they're good defensively. They're +4.5 in point differential. So are the Nets, but that's because they score a lot. The game the Nets played against Boston on Friday night, they were down 15, they were down 10, but then their offense came back and kicked in gear. I just think that if a game came down between the Nets and the Sixers right now, the Sixers would clamp them down defensively and be able to stop the Nets. Kevin Durant, the Mike Trout of baseball, as I said, Mike Trout was the Kevin Durant of baseball. Kevin Durant, injured for the last 3 weeks, rolls out of bed on Sunday, scores 33 against the Phoenix Suns. Without him, they would have lost that game to Phoenix on Sunday. And how about those Phoenix Suns snapping the New York Knicks 9-game winning streak, I think it was. Let's see here. 9-game winning streak that the New York Knicks had. The New York Knicks are 4th in the East right now. They're tied with Atlanta for the 4th seed. And then Boston's in the 6th seed right now. And then, of course, Miami, Charlotte, Indiana, Washington are all there. So it's going to be interesting. Final thing here, the NFL draft on Thursday. Casey and Charlie are going to talk a lot about it, as I said. I'm getting in my shot on Thursday, my second shot. So if you haven't been vaccinated, I recommend you do it. You'll be better off for it, and we can all get back to normal here. But I'm so sick of the draft right now, so I think that's the perfect day for me to get a shot. Not the lobotomy like everybody keeps asking about, but a shot. They're going to work on the lobotomy probably later in life, although I am forgetting a lot of things, so maybe they do have to check it. We'll see. But Charlie and Casey will talk about the draft. We had Russell Baxter on yesterday. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, the San Francisco 49ers, Atlanta Falcons. Everybody's interested. What's going to happen in the top 4? I am so sick of it. A month ago, the 49ers made the trade. We all think because of fantasy football, we all think because of DraftKings or the other companies that do the fantasy sports, that we're all GMs. We all know what's better for the team, and we're all going to be unhappy if Mac Jones gets picked by the 49ers. We don't know squat. None of you out there know squat. I don't know squat. They've looked at all the game film. They've looked at all the game tape. I like Zach Wilson. He's not going to be available. And here's why Zach Wilson. I think Kyle Shanahan, and I have no proof to prove this, but I think Kyle Shanahan really wanted Zach Wilson. Robert Saleh, the new coach of the New York Jets, spent 5 years in draft rooms with Kyle Shanahan. Maybe not on the offensive side of it, but he knows what type of players Kyle Shanahan likes. And I think that he likes Zach Wilson a lot. And I think he likes the opportunity that it gives him to start a new franchise or rebuild the Jets franchise. Get some protection for that young man from BYU. He needs the protection. He's going to be successful. And if the Jets make the playoffs, you heard it here first, it's going to be because of Zach Wilson and because they have a good offensive line, because their defense is pretty good. And Robert Saleh is going to improve that defense. Remember, the Jets won. They were winless until the last 2 weeks. They beat the Browns and then the Rams back-to-back weeks. So if they get some offensive line protection and they do, in fact, take Zach Wilson, watch them screw it up and not take Zach Wilson, take a tight end or a defensive player or something. I think everybody's talking Zach Wilson, but it wouldn't surprise me if they trade down, get an offensive lineman, and maybe go after another quarterback, in which case Zach Wilson would be available for the 49ers, in which case I think it would be a better fit. But then again, I don't know anything, and it looks like Zach Wilson's going to go to the Jets, and I bet he has a good year with the Jets, provided they give him protection and the defense plays as well as they did last year. They were in a lot of low-scoring games last year, and with Wilson quarterback, they're going to get some more points. That defense will shut people down, and I don't think they'll compete with Buffalo, maybe not even New England, or Miami for that matter. But they're going to be good, and they'll be competitive, and they'll be tough games to play for the New York Jets. As far as the 49ers, I don't care anymore about the draft. Every year you see the same teams in the draft: the Carolinas, the Atlantas, the Jacksonville Jaguars. By the way, don't call Trevor Lawrence a bust if they have a bad year. It's going to be tough for players to come into situations where they are used to winning, but there's not enough talent on these teams to win right away. And don't say that they're a bust if they don't have a winning record. It takes time to learn in the NFL. It takes time to learn in any professional sport. It takes time to learn in any business for that matter. So don't get on these players if they don't come out successful, provided they're getting the right training, the right coach. Urban Meyer's a great coach. He knows what he did do with quarterbacks. Robert Saleh, I'm sure he's got an offensive staff. I don't know who his coordinator is on either side of the ball, but their defense will be better, and Zach Wilson will make that offense better, and hopefully they have some line blocking for the run game and the offensive line as well. All right, you can catch Charlie O and Casey Freelove on Thursday. I'll be gone, 4:15 Eastern, 1:15 Pacific, every Monday, Thursday, and Friday for the Make the Money and Run podcast. We'll post our picks every day or every other day that we have. By the way, in terms of picks, look out for Minnesota and Cleveland tonight. Look at the Cleveland Indians tonight, as well as look at the Warriors tonight, laying 4 points after the Mavericks lost to the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. It's going to be a Steph Curry night in San Francisco, almost at Oakland. In San Francisco tonight, they're laying 4 points to the Dallas Mavericks. All right, we'll see you soon, everybody. Take care. Have a great afternoon, and good luck with all your games. Talk to you soon.